Hello and welcome to this week's cybersecurity briefing. It's Thursdays, 1:30 Central Standard Time, and we are all about giving you what has happened in the world of cybersecurity since last week, and that is why we do these weekly. I'm Garrett, I'm the CEO here at Vandernet, and we are a cybersecurity-focused IT solutions company. And why is that different is because cybersecurity is our core competency. We work really hard to focus on growing your business securely, helping you find out strategic ways to reclaim your time. That's what we're here for. We're here to help be a strategic partner to take you from where you're at right now to where you want to be, and figuring out from a technology perspective and security how we can get you there. So today, I'm going to go over, I have 4 articles to bring to the table. The first one is from Apple, and if you have not updated or patched your devices and you're an Apple user, you should have been on that yesterday. The reason why this is so important is there is a 0-day bug that has come out, what is 0-day? 0-day is when security researchers haven't had time to be aware of a vulnerability, to look at it, and then build patches to push updates to your device to secure it. 0-day means they don't have the time to do that. Last week, I talked about how I think it was like 60 to 70% of all attacks that have happened within the last year or within 2023's report was 0-day attacks. And why this is extremely important to your business is it means that you can't rely on a specific manufacturer to patch something before the hackers figure it out. That also means that you have to have additional things that are protecting your business, not just the one device that has a 0-day vulnerability. So if this were to get compromised, say a 0-day, what other pieces or tactics do you have in place that while they haven't patched that is helping you still secure that? And that's where our strength is at Vandernet, is making sure that there are layers to your security, to securing your business. But as we read into these articles, and if it's truly the case where there's majority of vulnerabilities are happening the same day and being exploited by hackers the same day, you really need a strategic partner. Apple releases a security update on Tuesday that it recommend for all users after fixing a pair of security bugs used in cyber attacks targeting Mac users. Another article said that it was more than likely North Korean hackers that were exploiting this vulnerability. To fix the bugs, Apple released software update for Mac OS, as well as fixes for iPhones, iPads, including users running older iOS 17 software. So this must have been a pretty decent vulnerability because they're even willing to go back to other OSs formerly before 18, before the latest release, and patch some security bugs in that release as well. And if you have not updated your iPhone, iPad, or your Mac OS devices, do it now. You can go to settings, you go to your general tab under there, and it will say software update. You click software update, it'll scan and look for a current software update, and then you click install. I would highly recommend that you do that right away. And through the process, through updating, it will also reboot your device, which if you don't reboot your device at least once a week, this would be a great opportunity to do that as well, even if you are on the latest patch. If you'll see, if we come down here, it's through what we call the WebKit. And that's through the browser and how things are rendered and delivered to the users of the Mac devices in their browser is how the hackers are compromising these devices, and then creates bigger security concerns or issues if they get access to what's on those devices or what those devices have access to. Next is Palo Alto. Palo Alto has also had zero-day firewall flaws caused by basic dev mistakes. In Palo Alto's case, some of those zero-day vulnerabilities are just because development gets sloppy. Like if you have development engineers coding and they don't do proper bug checks or are looking, or it's not vetted really well before it's released, then we can get flaws in the software. And this is why web applications, software as a service applications, subscription services maybe that you subscribe to, you have to be careful about putting your intellectual property in those, because if they're sloppy or they don't have a great track record history, you could be susceptible or vulnerable because of their sloppy mistakes. What we typically see is hackers getting into the network, and then those firewalls be sitting on the network, and then they're able to use these vulnerabilities to then get into the firewall, open whatever they want, create new VPNs, reroute your entire internet traffic for your organization to their servers. Then they can see everything that you're doing. That's what we normally see. Palo Alto Networks has issued fixes for 2 actively exploited vulnerabilities that impact its firewalls and virtual security appliances. When combined, the flaws allow attackers to execute malicious code with the highest possible privileges underlying in PAN-OS operating system. Admin, that's what that means. It means like having the highest level of access to your firewalls. This vulnerability does. So once again, patch. Next, we're going to be discussing Chinese hackers exploit firewall zero-day VPN to steal credentials. If you haven't caught on today, we're talking about a lot about zero-day vulnerabilities. Chinese threat actors use custom post-exploitation toolkit named Deep Data to exploit a zero-day vulnerability in Fortinet's Fortinet client Windows VPN client to steal credentials. The zero-day allows the threat actors to dump credentials from memory after the user authenticated with the VPN device. So we're seeing, again, additional people targeting those firewalls. So what we see is by compromising VPN accounts, they can gain initial access to corporate networks where they can spread laterally and gain access to sensitive systems and generally expand espionage campaigns. So all it's saying here is if they were able to get access to the zero-day VPN and get access to this firewall in the systems, just like we talked about with Palo Alto, just the article before this, then they can move it and spread laterally. They can get into your servers and other network devices, and then after that, they deploy ransomware, and then ransomware. Before they deploy the ransomware, they're uploading all your data, they're exfiltrating that out of your network, and then they deploy ransomware and try to get as much money out of you as possible. Lastly, today, we're talking about T-Mobile confirms its network was hit by Chinese hackers. This is massive. We were talking about this about a month ago, that there was at least 3 known U.S. major telecom providers that had been hit by Chinese hackers using backdoors that our government had legal access or rights to in order to service wiretaps through subpoenas and monitor internet traffic and other things. So like 3 major infrastructure companies got hit. And we talked about this a month ago. Now, based on this article, we're seeing that T-Mobile now confirms it was hit by Chinese hackers. Let's see what's going on here. T-Mobile has joined the growing list of U.S. telecom operators who have been breached by Salt Typhoon. The company confirmed in a statement to the Wall Street Journal that while the breach had occurred, there was no evidence to suggest that attackers had accessed or exfiltrated any customer data. It says T-Mobile is closely monitoring this industry-wide attack, and at this time, T-Mobile systems have not been impacted in any significant way and has no evidence of impacts to customer information. We will continue to monitor this closely. We're just seeing, it says the U.S. government has also issued a warning through the Consumer Financial Bureau, CFPB, for its workers to avoid using personal cell phones for work purposes, stating, while there is no evidence that CFPV has been targeted by the unauthorized access, I ask for your compliance and directives. Listen, if you work in a sensitive industry, so financial services or healthcare or let's see here, education, if you're performing a duty or function that is messing or talking about sensitive information or data, you need to have a policy inside your organization as to what conversations are acceptable to be had on personal devices or what should be had on company provided devices, because those should be locked down. They should be managed by what we call an MDM, mobile device management software, that restricts access to anything other than what is necessary to perform the job role. You might say, well, Garrett, that's pretty extensive. Well, depending upon what type of data you're housing inside your business, it might be pretty extensive because it's necessary to protect the people, the data, and the technology. We want to protect the data that we have inside our organization. And it takes all of us to do that. And we have to be vigilant and work hard at doing that. I got one last thing for you today. If you're a business and you're like, I'm not really for sure if I'm secure, or maybe something about faster outcomes, maybe you have questions around growing securely, regaining some time, reclaiming time that you think maybe we're just inefficient. Maybe there's things that can get put into place that would help our business be more efficient while staying secure. And then lastly, you might have questions about how we can help you outsmart your competition. Listen, we're here to educate the industry. We believe that if everybody becomes smarter, that's best for everybody. And less businesses will get compromised if we're all working together to secure our businesses. So if you have a question in regard to what we've talked about today, or you want to have a continued conversation about how we can help you grow securely, reclaim time, and outsmart competition, I'm going to invite you to scan the QR code. Have a free cybersecurity 15-minute session with us so we can get to know you, you get to know us, and we can talk about next steps for you, your business. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week, next Thursday at 1:30 Central Standard Time to give you the updated information on what's happening in the cybersecurity realm since we've talked last. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.